How would mythological creatures fit in our world? Would they be a pet? Could their unique DNA sequence be manipulated to harvest human organs? Let's think about this hypothetical situation for a second. Hi, my name is Hannah, and I'm a second-year med science student from Flinders University. In this video, I'd like to pose a hypothetical ethical question to that situation. If these creatures existed, or could be created, is it ethical to use chimera to harvest human organs? Let's start answering this question by figuring out what a chimera is. If you Google image the word chimera, you'd be confronted by heaps of images of mythological interspecies hybrids, similar to this one. Typical really, two-headed animal of a lion and a goat. In science, however, chimera is a term used for a living organism that has a genetic mixture of different DNAs from two different organisms. This term can be used to describe animals, plants, and even humans. Generally, chimeras are formed right after fertilization by fusion of a developing embryo, grafting, or mutation. Basically, the chimera that we're going to be referring to in this video is a non-human living being that is able to harvest human organs. Now that we have an idea of what a chimera is, let's get back to our ethical issue. Is it ethical to use chimera to harvest human organs? Before going into a deep dive on human organ transplants, I asked myself this question. Is there a shortage of human transplantable organs? Is the ratio of needed and received organs negatively skewed? According to these peer-reviewed journal articles and the World Health Organization, yes. Let's get into some stats. This first figure includes the 4 majorly needed organs for transplantation in the world in 2020. It shows that the heart is the only organ that we currently have enough of. These stats are negatively skewed towards kidney transplantation patients, and it's been recorded that 17 patients from the waiting list dies daily while waiting for an organ transplant. Demand for needed organs annually increased by 33%, while received organs increased by only 2%. Of the total number of organs that were received in 2020, Figure 2 states that less than 2/3 of donated organs were received from deceased donors. This is mainly due to the fact that a living donor organ is more likely to function immediately after transplantation compared to a deceased donor organ. This wait is sometimes too long for most patients, and some, in desperation, will choose illegal organ procurement through transplant tourism. But that's a whole nother issue in itself and needs to be explained in another video. So now that we understand which chimera we're referring to and realize that there is a global shortage in transplantable human organs, is it ethical to use chimera to harvest human organs? The first scientist to report an embryological chimera was created by a German embryologist, Hans Spearmann, and his PhD student, Hilde Mangold, in 1924. Their experiment successfully transplanted dorsal cells using species with different cell pigmentation of newt embryos. In other words, they grafted cells of a light-colored newt onto a dark-colored newt and altered its cellular identity into a twinned newt embryo. Their discovery is known as the embryonic induction, the early embryonic process in which one group of cells directs another group of cells to various responding tissue, such as the eye lens and the heart. Let's fast forward to the 21st century. You can find heaps of peer-reviewed articles on proposed chimera regulation, moral uncertainty, and ethical concerns. The gist of it is that we currently have the basic technology to harvest human organs in a chimera, but should we? And if we did, to what extent do we humanize a chimera? To fathom this ethical issue completely, scientists, physicians, politicians, judges, and you, members of society, would need to have transparent debates about pressing medical needs, techniques used, establish a threshold of chimerism, and indicate clear ethical mandatory limits in legislation. This video is really an introductory video to the start of the debate of whether or not it is ethical to use chimera to harvest human organs. Like Michelle Obama said in 2008, you can't make decisions based on fear and the possibility of what might happen. Make decisions based on what should happen and not what shouldn't. To recap the points throughout this video, harvesting human organs in chimera could increase transplantable organs worldwide, put a stop to illegal organ procurement, ease financial stress in families, and essentially improve our current knowledge in human physiology. And that is all I have for you today. I hope you'll research more on this ethical issue, and maybe try not to let your imagination run wild and picture uncontrollable monsters with human livers and hearts. Thanks for watching!